Hello everyone, this is Visual Novel Gamer here, and I'm back with Katawa Shoujo. Last time we finished Emi's route, so I'm pretty sure this is what put me on her route, so I'm gonna click take it easy this time instead of go for it. I let Emi go with her own pace, and she doesn't seem to show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out here, is it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emi keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I got nothing to prove to myself either. I'm just fine the way I am. And what I'm not is a runner. This was probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks anyway. There's gotta be some other way to keep healthy. Walking maybe. Nice afternoon walks. Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I wave to Emi and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. And I think I read this, so let's see. I did not. Back in my room, the first thing I see is the row of familiar medicine bottles lined up on top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I made peace with this thing. Gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of that reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before for months. Seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. That is how I rationalize it. I downed the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepared to head out to class early as usual. As I stepped into the hallway, I noticed Kenji coming around the hallway, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaked past me, soundless like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him. Hey. He jumps at the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you were there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping? Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I figure it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. So then, what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. Any supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. Okay. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. I decided to not point out that he is not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a cracking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room and then closed the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out the test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Oh. I just wanted to know when the next test day it was. I'm still going to take it, duh. I need to know, so I know what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. And why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones? I have no phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. That's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it. Being beaten in the head. Well, where else can I get beaten with a phone? That will make me unable to remember it. The ass? Unexpected logic. I feel very depressed now. Since this conversation is more or less over, Genji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start like in 20 minutes. I already did that something today. Too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm? I actually brought two because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, man. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone seems to be here already. I recognize most. So, I'm gonna make you a one-time only, super exclusive, special lunch offer. Emmy's homemade lunchbox. The privilege of enjoying them in private with two bombshell beauties. Her over-flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe the honor of being invited? You stood there, looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable. So how about it? You're probably really lonely and won't eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer with pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't go up there, then she'll probably wander off. And then I'll just know she'll go hungry because she never packs lunch for herself. Who will? Come with me. Without answering a question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the halls. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Emmy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. Huh. Sorry, but just skipping the parts I read already. I guess I need to go buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gates, I make a few loud scratches to try and shave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the week. After passing through and rounding the corner, though, I see a silhouette figure walking down a hill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without needing to say, without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head, the face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. Isao? Yep, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. In fact, she actually remembers a pleasant surprise. Good evening. What brings you here? Once again, she gives a small, polite bow, and once again, I reply in kind, before realizing that I needn't do so. Just going into town. You? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, eh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me. Ah, not lost, but worried. The two do seem to be pretty close, to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has the habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right, she doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quickly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tick, tack, 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 tack. With the road riff of cars and the students at Yamaku increasing far behind us, the quiet rustling of the leaves and the mesmerizing tapping of Liz's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I knew it, I relaxed so much that a loud yawn escaped before I could control it. Tired? Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement, to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should be settled down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right into the middle of things. For a moment I hesitate, but give her an appropriate tolerance for frankness. I decide to give my full thought. I guess Yamamoto was kind of different though. I mean, the formal surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'd get used to it through in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with Class 2, 3, and Hanako. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case. Looking on the bright side, one can see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic. Needlessly, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I could ask what's going on, what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speaks up about something else. So, where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I came in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I had intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm going to have to ask her for directions again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well now, this is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care again. Then, thanks. Together we walked to the store, my pace carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I caught sight of our object. This town is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here, it takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'll be my pleasure. I grabbed 2 well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane, and sliding it through the basket handles before picking it right back up in her right hand. Wait, she doesn't use her cane? Before I complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers. Is this alright? Ah, sure. I have no response not to accept. I can't think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it is out of necessity. We navigate our way through the store with not one of the occasional customers seeming to bat an eyelid. considering how close Yamako is, I guess seeing students from there must be relatively normal for the locals here. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for and put our items into their respective baskets. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako followed every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. With a quick side tap of the basket, bakery section, we make our way to the register. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we pay for our food and are out the door. As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upward at the night sky while holding both our bags. For a moment, I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my own two. You're tired as well? The festival of preps have been complete chaos. Susume breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain. I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distant figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class. But as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Rin, what are you doing out here so late? Rin? Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin Tekazuki, I think was her last name from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression. Something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe. Ah, I understand. I guess Lily knows Rin too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognized either of us. Or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue of a zombie. Well, slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoughtfully. Hello. There's an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? I was wondering about that myself too just now. Some people asked that just before. I assumed they were wondering the same thing. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked, that's why I'm wondering. So that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. ... They were going that way. She turns facing to her right in order to demonstrate the direction the other people went to, as if that was important, then rotates back like a mechanical puppet in one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lily, who was equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Our stupid field lack of response doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if bull elephant-grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of the sort, though. No, I don't think that's it. The other passerbyers were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some... maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I pondered for a while whether I should chase the angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decided on the latter. It seems that most of the time it's better to not read too deeply into what Ren is blabbling about. Talking with Ren is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn it, just like Kenji said, even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamato? ... I pushed the thought aside, as too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here? She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequence, or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of idea. That sounds like progress at least. Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of disgruntled normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism. Yes, there is some. Definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. The ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes, all too visible. That didn't last long. Ren, as far as I could tell, on base assumptions aside, what should we do? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are. But it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Ren is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she managed to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me, trying to guess what might have been going on in her head when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery several times in a row. Lily is oddly quiet too. I appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Ren than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Ren is exactly what she's saying, staying subtle. So I assume you're going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock, and she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for a situation like this. You a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. No, what? Why do you think that? You knew what I was doing. It was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before to get to the store. If you were going to school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Ren appears quick to jump to completely irrelevant conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, that is the second time this week that someone asked if I was a mind reader. Do I really give off that impression? Ren shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to the school. Lily interjects, just as I am about to further debunk my alleged mind reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned. The paper-thin smile on her face badly disguised the fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it's entirely insane anyway. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point staying here. Rin considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. We started towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk in her arithmetic way, looking like a mix of a sleepwalker and a rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that and a few fragment beginnings of conversation, it's quiet. A quiet, apart from the relaxing one into the relaxing one into town at that. So how's the mural going? We're going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. I'm sure it will be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap step, tap step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamku rests on top of is surprisingly steep. Going uphill, we slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and breathing getting heavier. Almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder, interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something. I'll speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I wish the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything alright? Alright, how do you mean? The fact that I can't interpret how incredibly vague question puts her off for a second. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill rock has really done a job on me. Lily noticed it all too quickly. Save that, of course. Don't really want to talk about it. Sorry, I'm not well, they both know I think they both know why I'm here. I know Ren knows. I forgot if Lily knows. But let's see, sorry, I'm not in very good condition. It's alright. I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is this something that is related to you being transferred here, I mean? She cuts herself off, rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp, though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't mind. I don't think I mind. It's just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said he looked fairly healthy, so I naturally thought. Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she frowns her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression brings me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising. She's this flustered considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own confidence about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty... I guess the best way to put it would be mess up. I guess the best way to put it would be mess up. Heart. Anthermenia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it and spent most of the spring in a hospital. Ended in Yamako on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily frown her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we really don't know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it, given I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to some sort of realization. So the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway. I grimaced slightly. Her ability to connect the dots so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I intended. Lily visible sheets away from continuing the topic. While I do want to assess her concerns, I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the brutality. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Okay, 30 more minutes. Arriving at the dorm, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning strikes her. She had been so quiet for almost all of the walk back that I had all but forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? I think I'm going to go in a fatal position and throw up. Possibly in the reverse order. Is something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. The mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs or a time machine? This is not good. Not good. She's so behind her schedule, recalling Susune's exploration at Ren's carefree attitude several days ago. I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so, unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Ren keeps staring at her mirror, looking as mortified as she can. Believe me, I'm going to need to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an indescribable look with me as I roll my eyes, but then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Believe me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There is a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worry about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone. Sounds like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she will be just fine. She's just how to say it? Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Ren crazy, without calling her crazy. Unique. Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the motion, mellously nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile, as if she was worried that her own shortcomings have prevented her from becoming closer to Ren. I'm not one to blame her at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted by all this as I am. I'd better leave now. Give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Hasao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what's the difference. It's just different. Relax, I say, but that's probably just relief getting rid of Ren, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. I'm actually gonna end this right here. I have some things I have to do today, so I have to end it a bit early today. Next episode is gonna be it's gonna be about the same length because I have a lot of stuff to do these next couple days. So, wait a second. Before I do anything, there we go. Put on at least a new spot to read. So, this has been Visual Novel Gamer. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, tell me how your day is going, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.